back to our introduction to HTML5. So first of all, just somebody can help me out by raising their hands whoever are already well known on the HTML and the CSS JavaScript part. Just raise your hands who are very comfortable with the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all these stuff. So Geeta, Shobhan, yeah, Avinash, okay, Shobhan, yeah. Venkatesh, Yusuf, yeah, very basics. Yep. Thank you, Avinash and Shobhan, and yeah, just lower your hand. Okay. Now, yeah, you need to bear us for these because we are starting with the very basics of the HTML for today. Probably there might be few things which you might not be aware of, are the tools that I would be using. So just bear me for today's session, and for today we will be discussing on a HTML and the CSS part. So it will be a good revision for you. Right. So coming to the downloads, what are all the downloads you can make it up? So always try to use Mozilla or Google Chrome, as Internet Explorer is not supporting much for when we try to debug our program. And there have been very good tools on the Mozilla and the Google Chrome. So try to have the Mozilla or Google Chrome, the latest browsers at your side. And when we are developing HTML, CSS, JavaScript at jQueries, we would be using Notepad++. So for Notepad++, you can just I will be showing you how you can download the Notepad++. So we need to search for Notepad++ download. Just click on the one which has notepad++.org. Yep, the latest one will always be available here. Just click on it, and you will be able to download the exe file. It will take some couple of seconds. Right, it is done. When it is done, just say open. So it asks for a pop-up. Just say yes. Oh, what happened? I'm waiting for some pop-up screen. What happened? Just let me check it at my downloads. Yeah, I'm clicking on an exe file and I'm saying I'm just clicking on a Notepad++. Probably since I have a version, or I already have downloaded it my side, probably that might be the reason it is. It is coming now. I'm sorry. Yeah. So we will be getting a pop-up where to select language. Always select English because we will be using the same. And in the next screen, it will ask a new pop-up will come with the version 6.7 setup. Say next, and I agree. And you can just specify wherever you want to download this particular file. So say next, and don't do any changes. Just say, yeah, next, and just if you want to have a shortcut on your desktop, just click on it and say install. So since I have already installed it, so I'm not showing up that, I'm not clicking on install. So I have the Notepad++ with me. So say cancel. Yep, just I'm quitting that. Right. So that's the one thing that we need to download it. Which one is the Notepad++, and get the latest version. So they always come up with the new plugins. So always get it. So once you are done, and you will get an editor like this. So how many people are already aware of Notepad++? Just raise up your hands. So this is the tool that we would be using for the basics of HTML5, which is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and jQueries. Right. So this is what are the latest ones that you need to download. And the other one, yep, this is one of the beautiful website that I would be showing you soon. So I would be using these regularly rather than the Notepad++. So if you want to develop our applications locally, then we would be using Notepad++. But for the test purpose, we would be initially using jsbin.com. So which is a GitHub, their own product, where we can use this JSBin for HTML, CSS, jQueries, and the other stuffs. So we would be using these jsbin.com very regularly, which I would be showing you soon, and it is a pretty good part for the training purpose especially, and to look up the results very quickly, right? So any queries and questions on these? Like we need to get the Mozilla updated one and the Notepad++, and yeah, this I would be showing you a bit time later. Now let us create our HTML, the first part, where I would be showing you how to save the file. And yeah, HTML is tag based one. It is completely into the tag based one. So I will be showing you different types of tags and what is a document type, and we will be starting with a small example where we would be using tags as a HTML head, body, title, and meta. So let us jump to the Notepad++ and let us create a small HTML. So doc type HTML. This is the blind rule that we need to follow. Doc type is HTML, and then we will be starting with the head. Sorry, we should start always with the HTML. So where we are specifying that this particular document is an HTML, and it starts from the HTML starts from this tag and it ends at the closing tag. So always the syntax of HTML will be a tag based one within these greater than, less than symbols. Like the tag will be opened and the tags will be closed, and what are all the stuff that we need to write, like this is for HTML5. So this will be the content within the tags, or else the tag can be just, there will be few tags which are just opened, and there will be few tags which are closed immediately. And the similar tag, I mean, there will be few tags where we would be writing tag, something like this is an attribute where we would be writing name one, value, and we will be closing it. So these are all the attributes of the tags. These are all the attributes of the tags. So these are the different tags that we would be using in our HTML, and these are completely tag based one, right? So coming to HTML, HTML is abbreviated as Hypertext Markup Language. So whenever there is a markup language, the markup language always are specified with the tags. And it is for showing the text, hypertext. We are marking up, and it's a language. It's not a programming language, not a programming language. So when I specify it is not a programming language, it is just a markup language, what does it mean? So my question to you, everybody, that it's just a markup language, and I'm giving a one other statement that it is not a programming language. What that it means? Avinash? Geeta? Shobhan? Venkat? Venkatesh? Hey Venkatesh, now can you hear me? Yeah, Shobhan. Shobhan is trying to help us. Just I'm unmuting you, Shobhan. Yeah, Shobhan, you have muted yourself. Just unmute yourself. Yeah, Shobhan, please help us.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear
Hello.
you.
Yes, not a programming language, and it's a markup language means we can use to structure the text and to place the text, for example, for the publishing some material on internet. And yeah, it's not a programming language. That means it's not executed from compiler and or interpreter, and it's right. It's just a markup language.
Not, you mean to say
not source code is not compiled, for example.
Not compiled. Yeah, but I'm just trying to argue, not interpreted. So since this is a language, somebody has to interpret it.
Right.
So who would be interpreting it? So for me, yes, there is a interpreter.
The browser.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah.
The browser.
Yeah. So the browser will be interpreting it. Means it tries to understand whatever we have written. As I just told you, yeah, we will be writing a code in between the HTML, and it should be interpreted. But who will be interpreting? It's a browser. Browser like Mozilla. So excuse me for the spelling mistakes. So Google Chrome. So the browsers are also a application which interprets whatever the HTML tags that we would be writing, whatever the HTML document we would be specifying. So they are not compiled, means they are not checked actually, but innerly, I mean, the browser is so clever that it looks into the HTML code and it shows up everything. I would say it is not a programming language, because in a programming language we will be analyzing something, we would be adding something, we would be making something as a dynamic one. So validation of any input fields, validation will not be happen in a HTML. Or if you want to make it like when I am selecting a country, after selecting a country, we want to show up the states, whatever the states are there dynamically. Yeah, that is not possible. So HTML is not dynamic, it is very static. in nature. So I'm talking about the exact HTML, not HTML5. Now, when we talk about the HTML5, then it's a beautiful and very good movie. But yeah, when we talk about just a HTML, then yeah, it is just a static. Just it has a view. It doesn't have brains within it. Right. So that's what the HTML. Yeah. So thank you, Shobhan. Do you want to convey some more information regarding this, or yeah?
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Shobhan. Yeah. So any queries on this? This is what we need to understand. This is what we need to embed ourselves, that this is the limitation of the HTML. This is what the HTML does. So any questions? Any questions? If that is something, if everything is clear, yes, we can move on. If not clear, anyhow, we are going to do some programs. Then we will be able to visualize what is an HTML, what are all its limitations, and why we have to go with the combination of HTML with the JavaScript. So in a simple words, so it is not a programming language. So since this is not a programming language, it is not dynamic in nature. So it won't react to anything. So if you are clicking on a submit button, just what it does, it wherever it has to go, it just moves on. But it doesn't analyze anything. It doesn't have any brain. It doesn't calculate anything. It doesn't validate anything. So that's the nature of HTML. That's the nature of HTML. So whatever the things has been shown on the page, that's all. Right. Any questions for me in this regarding? Yep. So just I'm unmuting you, Shobhan. Yeah, Shobhan. You have to unmute yourself. Yeah, Shobhan.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Actually, what is the difference between HTML and HTML5 exactly?
Yeah. So the beautiness of HTML5 is they have added JavaScript within it. HTML5 actually is when I say HTML5, it is equal to HTML plus CSS plus JavaScript. So it's a combo of JavaScript as well, and it has started with DHTML. So initially there was only HTML, so where they have differentiated HTML as a different entity, CSS as a different entity, JavaScript as a different entity. When it comes to the HTML, they have added dynamic HTML. It is nothing but HTML plus JavaScript. HTML plus JavaScript. Now when we call the HTML5, it is a combo package of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. But we would be dealing individually. First we will be starting with HTML, then CSS, then the JavaScript, then we will coming back to the jQueries, and then we will be starting with SAP UI5. So that's a course that we have followed. Right.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So my dear friends, we should understand that it is just a markup language and it is not a programming language. Right. So anyhow, let us start with a small program where I'm just removing others. So always HTML file will start with the HTML tag, and we need to close up the HTML, and there is a head part. Since I told you it doesn't have a brain, but it has its own head, and a body. See, I'm writing some tags in a lowercase, some tags in a uppercase. This is not a case sensitive, so we can write it in any pattern. But when we specify some tag attributes, then yeah, it matters. But it is a case insensitive in nature. So this is a body which will be showing you us this is the body of HTML. Just how to save it in a Notepad++. Just let us go to the file and save as. So I need to search somewhere. Excuse me. So I just want to just save it on a particular folder. So let me go to my PC and the documents. Yeah, batch 2. So this is the place where I want to just save my file. So just we will say as usual, hello world. So the naming conventions of the HTML will always be in a lower letter, hello world, and the type that you can specify in a Notepad++ when you just open up the file type, yeah, you will get so many options. So just go to the hypertext markup language and just save it. So now, yeah, Notepad++ is bit clever enough that it shows, okay, there are some tags are there, and now it is showing in a colorful one. So just let me save it. And how to run it? Just go to the run, and you can, whatever the browsers that you have, you can just select them. So I have the Firefox, so just I'm selecting that, and just a minute, I have to, yeah. So this is the body of HTML. That is just because that has came just because we have added some content at the body. So this is the content of the body. And now coming to the head part, it is more like a brain. So first of all, we can add up a title here, title, and just I'm closing the title. So most of the tags are opened and closed, and title I would be writing SAP UI5 training. Right. So just I can go back to the application and just I can refresh it so that it reads from the file, local file, and yeah, we can see the changes. So my dear friends, SAP UI5 training. So I can see the changes immediately here once I refresh it. So actually this is a time consuming one for me, to be honest. So writing everything and going back to the browser and would like to show up. So that is the reason. So just I have opted myself to work on the other website, which I can just get the things done very fastly, which is nothing but the JS bin. So jsbin.com. Just register your account, which will be free of cost. So this is the JS bin. So I will be showing, yeah, these are all the lot of features are there, and yeah, they are coming up with so many things on the HTML, CSS, especially OpenUI5. Don't get confused right now. What is the OpenUI5? As of now, it is the same as SAP UI5. So whatever the stuff that we can do with the SAP UI5, we can do the same with the OpenUI5. So later we will be discussing, is there any differentiation between them? But whatever the stuff that we can follow with the SAP UI5, we can do the coding part here. So just, create your own account here and you will be able to do it. So just the reason behind that, why I would be using is, yeah, I can use the HTML code and I can see the output here immediately. So let me copy the same content, whatever we have here, and just I am pasting it. So I can see the code changes here, HTML, CSS. Yep, I can see. So that we can save a lot of time, and it gives us, yeah, whatever the errors that we have. So if something is, oh, it says line number 2, something has gone. So just I can make it up like this. So it says, oh, good. So it says it should be a lower letter, which is recommended, but still it reads. So I'm just removing body says body. So yeah, we are error free now. So this is how we would be using the JS bin, and we can add up the CSS files in between. We can add up the JavaScript in between, and we want to. The console comes when we try to debug the application. We can add up the console as well. So just once again, when we click again, it will disappear. So on a single click, it appears. This is just an output. You can see the difference at the, on the fade side. So when I click on HTML, it appears. So try to use this extensively because it supports the SAP UI file, and we can save a lot of time here. Right. So that's about it. And what is a document type? So we have started with the document type here. So what is a document type actually? Can somebody suggest me what is a document type? Why we need to specify the document type on the top of the page? Yeah, Avinash. Yeah. Anybody? What is a document type? What is your guess? Geeta? Kapil? Yeah, Avinash, I will come to your question. Why we cannot see the header part here? Yeah. So what is a document type here? Doc type. So HTML language is a universally accepted language. Means all the browsers, if we are coming up with our own browser, we need to follow a set of rules which are specified by the W3 schools, who has developed this W3 consortium, actually WWW consortiums. So they have provided the set of rules in this doc type such that, the tag should start with the HTML. So the set of rules are defined in these doc type. And when I say HTML, it directly takes HTML5 versions. So if we specify something if we are using HTML4 or HTML 1.4 or 1.3, just we will be specifying the document type definition version of it at this document type. So finally, what I want to convey here is doc type is the one which defines the set of rules for the complete HTML page or HTML5. So it should start with the HTML. When we are opening a header, it should be closed with the header, and the title should be written inside the header part only. So the set of rules are defined at the doc type level. Right. Yeah. So now coming to the another part which would be metadata. So just I will be excuse me. Yeah. So now coming to the another tag which we would be using regularly, which is the metadata. Meta and char set. We need to specify this on every page. UTF-8. So there are different types of char sets are there, like ASCII, and this is a Unicode type. So Unicode type will always take the 16-bit as a character list. So it's for that 16-bit. So we have so many options to use the characters, especially when we use internationalization for the Chinese, for the Japanese keywords. If we want to use them as a part of our body, then ultimately we need to use the UTF-8. So when it comes to the SAP UI5, SAP says that always try to use the char set as a UTF-8. Otherwise, we can use the ASCII as well, which is a 8-bit one. So where it has, it doesn't have all the characters which are being a part of UTF-8. Right. So always try to use this. And what is a meta? What is a meta, my dear friends? This is nothing but the metadata. So generally, what do we mean by the metadata? What do we mean by the metadata? In anything, probably it can be a SAP or non-SAP or any other language. When we say metadata, what it is all about? Metadata. Yeah, for Kapil there is a issue. Kapil, just restart your system because let me check with others. Hey guys, are you able to see the jsbin.com? Which I am showing up, or do you have any issues viewing the screen? Yep. The Kapil, others can see the current screen. Probably you have problem with your system, so just restart your system. Probably that may help us. Yeah. In the meantime, so what is the metadata, my dear friends? You need to come up very fastly, mates. Yeah, Geeta is trying to help us. Geeta, just I'm unmuting you. Yeah, Geeta.
Yeah, it is something which defines what's the type, length.
Beautiful.
Of the.
Yeah. In a simple, we can say the metadata is the data about the data. So generally, which I heard from when I was from the engineering one. So it is the data about the data, as you have just said. Yeah, the length of the data, the type of the data, and who has created it, who has modified it. So it gives the history of the data. That is what called the metadata, and that's the reason we are defining that the data that we would be writing within these application, within these complete document, or within these, I'm just using different terms because we are going to get those terms later. So in this HTML document, we are specifying that the characters I would be specifying using is UTF-8. Means I can use any international accepted the characters within this. So meta is about the data, and as Geeta told, it's a length. It can be a length. It can be the type, like string, character, whatever it is, or it can be who has modified it, who has created it. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, thank you, Geeta. Right, and here the most of the person doesn't know that we can provide a description to the. So just let me close it down. So one of the beautiness here is you can check up the syntax every time at the errors. So meta has the another thing which is a name. So these are the attributes of these particular tag. We can call it as a tag or element, HTML element as well. Okay, this meta tag has an attribute name, and the value that we are providing is description, and what is the complete web application about is it is SAP UI5 tutorials. And can we see somewhere here? No. We cannot see anything here. The header part, yes, we can see here, SAP UI5 training, but this is about the data. This is about the data. This is not something that we want to show it up on the page. This is just to specify to the other user who is going to develop later. We are specifying that this complete application is about the SAP UI5 tutorials and meta. Okay, just let me. Yep, I can close it here. The colons. So meta, we need not to close it at the same time. So it works for us. Meta name is equal to, this is the one which we will be using when we are developing a website. And when we want to have a good SEOs, the keywords are used content equal to HTML, or I would say SAP UI5. So if I want to embed in my website the same page, I would say tutorials, SAP UI5 online training. I would be saying SAP UI5 training, and I would be coming up with the commas, and I would be saying SAP UI5 with NetWeaver gateway, so that the search engine, so that can be a Google, or that can be a Yahoo, or that can be some other search engines, they will be looking at capturing these content, and based on that they will be showing up the resulted ones on the organic searches. My dear friends, when it comes to the organic searches, so if I say SAP UI5 training here, this is just because of the ad, but these are all the organic results. So I'm getting my YouTube one here because I have added the metadata keywords as SAP UI5 training. So this will be pretty much useful when we develop our website, and yeah, most of the guys doesn't know about these. So this is the usage of the metadata. So one of the usage is, so the developer would be knowing that, okay, this is about blah blah blah. I mean, the content, the page is about it, and the search engine always looks at the content of the metadata and what are all the keywords are specified in this document, and based on that, yeah, you will get it. I mean, there is again there is a lot of analytics are there when we want to when we are getting as a result of the organic searches. The underneath part is the organic search, my dear friends. The upper part is this part is the Google AdWords. So just I'm not looking at this, so I'm saying like, okay, when we specify something SAP UI5 training as part of our HTML page, then yeah, there is a chance of appearing our website as organic searches. This is the organic searches, so there is a possibility. So that is one of the advantage of using meta keywords in our application. So metadata is all about the data, and meta tag provides metadata about the HTML document. So what about the HTML document, what type of character it is, and this will not be shown on the page. The other character is, yeah, whatever the stuff that we are specifying as part of metadata will not be shown on the page. And we can specify page description, keywords, the author as well. If you want to add up the author information, we have a tag called meta and author equal to, so who is the author? So yeah, sorry, it is not that, my dear. Yeah, name equal to author, and yeah, let me close it down. And the content would be the Devinder Nayak. So probably it will help the next level developer that this guy has developed it. So if, yeah, we can go and we can contact him. So that is the one. And the other one, which just I would like to just show you up, that someday I was using this. So meta HTTP equal refresh. Try to refresh every time when it reaches the 30 seconds. So I was using this in probably 2005-6 around, when I was visiting, when there is a cricket match, and I would like to refresh the page. Probably it is crickinfo.com or some other page, rediff.com, rediffcrick.com, and I would like to refresh every 30 seconds. Then yeah, just I have used these tag at that time. So it is pretty older, this particular tag is, and it refreshes our page every 30 seconds. So some additional features has been added. So just I don't want to refresh every time. Yeah. Right. Hey, hi Pranesh. Thanks for joining. Yeah. Right. So this is all about the metadata. One of the beauty that we need to know as a SAP UI5 developer, we are developing the web pages. In other world, we can call it as we are the designers and we are the website developers kind of stuff. So this is all about the metadata. Right, and now we can start up with our programs. So is anything that I am missing? Yeah. Any questions for me now? Any questions for me? If somebody who are there, let me check up. Any questions? Yeah. Always see, this header part is always be like a brain for these HTML. So it will not be shown on the pages, but the title will be shown here. That's all. So whatever the stuff that we would be writing as a header part, that is what the W3 consortium has specified. So if I am writing CXCX, yes, it appears, but always try to make sure that the header part uses the similar tags so that we can use it extensively. So it doesn't mean that whatever we type will not be shown on the header, but yeah, SAP, these HTML guys, W3 consortium came like, okay, the header part should be used as a brain, and the body should be used for the content that we would like to show as part of the document. So this part is called DOM, document object modeling. So whatever the documents that we want to show on the body of the page or the browser, we would be specifying as part of the body. Right. So let me start up with a few things like, so what will be the future of SAP UI5? So these are the questions that you would be having. And just I'm pressing enter so that I would like to get it on the next line. Will it replace the SAP web client, which actually SAP planned, or will it replace web Dintro or BSPs? Or will it be only be used within the cloud technologies or cloud solutions? So let me make it as a question marks here, here, and will SAP UI5 is only for mobile? Will it be a successful product? So these are all the questions to you, my dear mates. So you have to get it, and will be answered slowly one by one. This is more like we have to do a lot of research with the SAP, how the SAP is planning for. But my problem, what is my problem here? See, the behavior of HTML is when I am making a space, yeah, the space it is taking, it is not granting the space which I'm showing up here. So if I would like to have some space or would like to display on the next line, yeah, I'm not able to get it. So what is the solution for this? So the solution is SAP has a tag which is called as a BR. Yeah, now you can see here. So let me remove this. You can see the result here. So now BR. So it is shown up on the next line. Now I will be writing after the BSP. I would say BR on the next line. Good. So I will be using the same. So this is the tag. This is the tag which is an individual tag. So we are not writing something like open and close tag. So just a single tag. Yeah. So we have shown everything on a next line immediately. So that this is how the break will work for us. So any questions on this break? So as a HTML developer, we need to know what are all the tags we need to use and how to use them. Right. Now, yeah, Avinash, I will be coming to the TR, TD tags later. So probably at the end of this HTML. Now I will be showing you the another one, the P, para tag. And for the P, yeah, just opening is not enough. So it is saying we are missing the closing of this tag. So when we are using JSBin, yeah, it is pretty cool that it interprets our coding part. So always try to use this. So when I say /P, yep, it says fine. But what is the difference between break and the para is with the para we will be getting a line space in between the elements. This is one element and this is the another element. So we will be able to get a space between them. So break is just going to the next line, whereas the para will give us the space. And para should always be closed. When we are opening a para tag, we always need to close it. Right. So let us move a little bit further. And we will be discussing about something called as the headers. So there is a tag with H1 and always it says that H2 as well. So here we will be showing key features and benefits of SAP UI5. Oh, you can see there is a spell mistake, benefits. Sorry, it is a H1. So yep, it is happy. Now you can see it is in a bold letter and TURES features. Yeah. So when we use the H1 tag, it is a header one, so which gives in a very big font size, and we have the similar tags like the H2. So I would be using H2, which should be opened and closed, and so I will be coming up with one of the feature of SAP UI 5, which is any screen on any devices. So you can see the difference. This is a H1 and this is a H2, and you can see the difference immediately here. The font size got decreased, and parallelly the same thing happens with the H3 as well. H3, and let us close the H3. Similarly, we have till H6. So just I don't want to waste our time. Just I would be copying everything whatever I have. So H3 looks like this. H4 is the font size gets decreased. Again the font size gets decreased. H6 font size gets decreased. We don't have H7. Okay, if you try to use H7, yeah, it shows up in the same way, H7. And when I say H7, whatever the defaulted font of, this is the defaulted font of the browser. So if it is the browser got confused like which header I want to use, so since we don't have the H7, so it is specified in a defaulted font size for it. Okay, so this is more about the headers that we have as part of the HTML. So today we would be discussing more on like the different tags and how we would be writing the HTML code. So now I will be going with the para, which I will be taking up here. What do we mean by the any screen on any device? Any screen on any device, and yeah, I would like to text this here as part of this, and this is pretty cool. We are well aware of it. So the output looks like this when we are using a para, but yeah, in a real time when we design some websites, we always would like to have this as bit bold or stronger. So we have a tag called strong. So as a developer, we need to know which tag we have to use. And it says, okay, there is something like it is messing up. So say, yeah, you can see here, it is pretty cool. Any screen on any device, SAP UI 5 is a web technology and build upon using, I mean, in between the web application and the mobile devices. Right. It uses the HTML5 and it uses MVC design pattern, and it contains some core libraries within it. So we are not worried about, I mean, right now, but yeah, we will be discussing about the MVC design pattern and how it is, what do we mean by the core libraries, what they are, how it is going to be used. So this is about the strong, which we can use in this pattern. And if you have doubts like, yeah, what is strong and what I can use it, always better to use W3 schools. W3 schools. So just visit these W3 schools for the HTML or the CSS, PHP, jQueries. So always try to go there. And if you want about the strong, So generally what I will do, strong in HTML, and I always goes with the W3 schools because they are the consortium which are defining the HTML. So always try to go with the W3 schools. Yeah, they are defining here, and just you can go through it if you want a little bit more information. Like EM is emphasized, strong. Yeah, define some piece of code if you want to write our coding part, and we can now specify the code. In between that we can write our coding part as well. It shows like a code that we do in a SDN. So in SDN, when we want to specify some code, yeah, if you observe, we have used the code tag there. So in this pattern you can take the help of W3 schools extensively, and if you want to demonstrate, just click on this, try it yourself. Yeah, there is a sample one is there where you can see, okay, for the EM it is shown in this pattern. So emphasized text, it is in this pattern, strong is in this pattern, code it shows in this pattern, and the sample will be shown in these, and the keyword input KBD shown in this, and variable, yeah, will be shown in this. So these are all the new one which has came up with the HTML5. There's a lot of tags are there. So we need to search it. I mean, whenever we are developing a website, we need to search it. So the more search we will do, the more tags we will be practicing, we will be getting aware of them. Right. So let me go back to our Yeah. So we have used strong, and yeah, I can just add up the EM as well, which we have seen just now. So strong and emphasized. Yep. So this is the emphasized one, which gives the full form of JSON, JavaScript object notation, which will be using the JavaScript innerly, and we are using JavaScript objects, and we are using different notations to use the JavaScript in a different format. And the other one, which just I'm trying to show you the different tags. So HR is the horizontal line which we would be using. So to design our application, and especially how to write the comments here. So the comments can be written here as colon 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is way how we will be writing on 21/12/2014. So we can write a comments here, and you know pretty well what is the usage of the comment when we are developing. It will be useful for our further references, and it will be useful for the next level guy who is writing the code. So we can write the comments in HTML using these. This is the less than symbol or the greater than symbol. I always get confused. This mark and hyphen hyphen, the name hyphen hyphen, and the greater than symbol. So we can use these pretty well, and yeah, if you want multiple lines, so this can be done. Right. So which will not appear on the page. Right. So this is how we can write the comments. Let me add up the other one, the ordered list and unordered list. So let me copy the content, and I will be just showing you how that looks like. See here. So yeah, you will get messed up with so many things. So let me remove the other part of it. Yeah. So we will be writing a para or the header one. So this is for unordered list. Oh, no. See, that's what the problem is. When we are not using properly, ultimately it will give us, this header is not yet closed. So the document will feel that it is not yet closed. So it doesn't appear here. And if we specify here, yeah, it is not a good one, but yeah, wherever you are closing till that place, it feels that, okay, the H1 is still here. So Control X and let me place it here. Now coming to the ordered, this is unordered list. U list, unordered list will specify anything in this bulletin format. So it is add up the bulletin, where if you want to use the ordered list, so I would be replacing with the OL. So you can see again it is not yet closed, the OL. So now this is the ordered list, which automatically HTML will specify the numbering to it. So if I copy and paste it down, paste it down, paste it down, paste it down, yeah, it gives the order list for us. Okay, so this we would be using very regularly in our pages. And now we have gone through the basic ones, which are nothing but, let me go through fastly what we have discussed as of now. So don't worry, my dear mates, you have a notes on a form of metadata. So we have discussed about the metadata, and we have started with the exercises, break, para, and the header ones. And we have continued with the bold, the italic by EM, and we have seen the comments as well. And we have seen unordered list and the ordered list as well. Now we will be looking at the linking pages. So linking pages is more like when we navigate from one page to the another page. So just to show you up, I will show you one small example. So which is nothing but my website. Oh no, it is taking much time. Yeah, see here. So I have shown in a form of the buttons, but these are nothing but the links. When I click on it, the demo part, it moves to the YouTube part. Right. So the linkage between, this is one HTML page, and it is navigating to, when I click on here, it is navigating to some other page where we want to register it. So just I will be showing you the same. So how to navigate it from one page to the another page. So just let me open it up. So it is all about the knowing the tags. So let's start with the P. Go to Gmail, and yeah, let us close it down immediately. So that is a standard that W3 School follows, but we can use the upper letter as well. It is not a JavaScript, so we can use it down. And now to add up something called as a Gmail, and we want to show it as a hyperlink, and when we click on it, we should navigate to the Gmail website. So for that, we can start A anchor href the reference. Where we want to go? We want to go to http://www.gmail.com. Right, and Gmail, I don't want to show the complete URL here. So instead of that, I want to just show you the Gmail / close the anchor. Right. In the similar pattern, so we can have a local desktop file at our place where I can have yahoo.com. Oh, excuse me. And Yahoo. So I would like to have a break in between. Yep. Right. And you can see, I mean, I don't want to show like this, and go to Yahoo. Let us say, go to Yahoo. Right. So you cannot, I mean, when I click on here, you will not be able to get it with this ID. So always better click on this icon, live preview, click on this. Yep, it will open up on a new window. So click on Gmail. Now we will be able to, hey, no, I don't want to show up my pages. So I want to click the Yahoo one. Yeah, I'm moving to the yahoo.com. So this is pretty simple where whenever we want to use it, so you can use for your applications. Means what you have to do, just copy the complete code and go to your Notepad++ and okay, Control-Alt, Control-V, just place it on your save as. Just you can place it on your desktop. You can place it as a My Links, just like a favorites. You can add up and save it so that it will be available on your desktop, and you can just, so whatever the links that you use regularly on the day, you can put it here and you can just click on it, or you can give it to your mates who just want to make it done. Yeah, no. This is going there. Yeah. So this is what the hyperlink is. Right. Now we will go to the images. So how to add up the image in our ones. So just let me go back wherever we are. Yeah. So it is just showing the HTML. Just if you want to see the output, just click on the output. It will appear here. Now we will see the image, which if you want to insert a image, there is a tag called img. So how to know this? I mean, just Google it. Just try to Google it. Image in HTML5, better one. Image tag. Always try to go with the W3 schools. If that is not available, then try to use others. So just I am opening it. So what generally I will do, I will just copy these. Or you can just, we can just try up here, and regarding the attributes, and wherever it gets supported, you can see all the browsers are supported. But there are few tags which they are not supported, my dear friends. So always try to look at. And one of the biggest advantage of SAP UI5 is it is, I mean, it is supported with the all latest browsers. SAP UI5 is, I mean, whatever the tags we have, we will be writing, whatever the developments that we will do, they are supporting all the updated browsers. So that is one of the advantage of UI5. But when it comes to the HTML tags, there is a limitation. There are few tags which are not supported by all the browsers. So that you can check it up, and yeah, you can go through the attributes, what they are, and you can just go like alternative, specify the alternate text for any image. So whenever the image is not shown, it shows the alternate, and the value that we would be specifying is the text, right? So we can take the help of it. So just I'm copying and pasting it here, and here I haven't got anything. The height and the width, we haven't got anything. So let me increase the width 900. So let me close this down, and it should be 480. So we are not able to show that. Yep, it is now you can see as an output. Yeah, it is just showing a text smiley face. It is not showing the image just because it is not able to grab it. So I will be just providing one of the image from my website, https://www.yes-max.co.in images. I have to check it up, my dear friends. I don't remember, but just let me check the output here. No, just let me go and let me refresh it here. Yep. So I can insert an image, and this is the width and height of it. So I would be saying something around 200 and 200, and just refresh it. Yeah, we can see the image here, right? So not only that, we can even specify the height and width of the images in the HTML, and we should specify the source. And always the source might not be from any, web-based one. We can have our own local images as well. For example, now for these JSBin, it will not add up to our local. So if we want to add up the local files as an image, so we need to copy these, Control All, and I would say Control V. So this is the image. So if we want to add up our local ones, so just we can Window E, just I will be showing you the E and something where I can show up any images. Yeah, there are a lot of images are there. So let me show up something these, which is css.png file. So which I can place it here, and say css.png. So let me write in a capital PNG, and it should be specified that we are getting from the file : :/. So this is the one that we need to specify. Firefox, the CSS is available. So any questions on this, my dear mates? Any questions on this? Any confusions? So this is how we can add up our local files, and for the local file it should be, since we are using, this is a web-based one, we cannot use up our local files here. It will not access our local file. So that's the reason just I have used the Notepad++. So if we are using our local files, then just we need to add up with the local file path, and additionally we need to add file : :/. Now one of the entertaining one which I would be adding, and which has came up with the HTML5, is the audio, AUDIO. So prior to that, if we would like to add any audio, always we need to use the JavaScript, but with the HTML5 we have got an audio, and within this audio, so this is the tag which is opened and closed, and in between that there is an inner tag is there, is source. Just I would be writing, just let me copy the content to save our time. Right. So see here, my dear friends, so just I have specified one of the URL where I'm getting the MP3 file to place, and I'm just specifying the audio and the MP3 type. It is an audio file. So, and underneath that, if the browser is not supporting, then ultimately it will give us a message that you can see these, update your browser. See, now it is doing a little bit cleverly. It is just beyond the HTML. It is showing up. If this is not available, then it is showing, for the browsers. I have all the latest browsers. That's the reason it will not show up this message for me. But if we have the older browsers which are not supporting this audio, how we will be knowing? Just I will be showing you, right? But the output of these would be excuse me. It has to show up something problem with. Hey, what happened? It is even not showing me the output. There is some problem with this. So let me go to the new file, because it is not showing up. Because it is not showing up everything to us. And let me put up this. It shows now. You can see here it shows this, but it should be inside the AUDIO. Run with JS. This is too bad. It is not showing up with the result here. What happened? Console, anything wrong with this? No. Let me check the para testing. It is showing up, but it is not showing me the audio. Because I am not able to get the controls. Yeah, it is my mistake. Now when I say controls, yes, it is appearing now. Probably so we have the controls here. So all the controls are available. When I remove the controls, nothing appears here. So that is the reason. Controls is one of the tag we can use for the one. And if we say autoplay, so I'm not touching anything. Automatically it gets autoplay. It gets autoplayed one. But when we end up, yeah, it is autoplay now. Yep, there is a query from the Yusuf. I'm sorry, I just missed up. That Yusuf is asking a question saying that only PNG type images can use, or any types. We can use any types, Yusuf. Just we need to specify the extension. That's all. JPG file, GIF file, PNG file, any files can be used as an image. So again, it depends on the browser interpreter as well. But yeah, as of now, most of the image types are compatible with all the browsers. Right. So this is the controls. The controls will give all, it appears all the controls. So autoplay, if I just remove and if I just leave it, yeah, controls are not available, but it is playing automatically. So I can specify like some instructions on my website, just an audio, yeah, which is available. And so if I just remove the autoplay, yes, it is not. But now here the restriction is like if I play and if I end it up, got stopped. And now my requirement is again it has to play. Once it is ended, if the end user doesn't click anything, it has to loop up every time. So where I can use LOOP and yeah, when I say play, so it is closing down and it is playing again. So generally the instructions, if you want to give for a website, if somebody has just joined, we can just add up the audio content, but it is a bit load, my dear friends, load to the website. So generally we need to restrict these kind of the sources, but yeah, if that is mandatory, then ultimately we have to use it. Right. So now how I would be knowing like what are all the different types of audios are supported. So just again, audio in AUDIO in HTML. So we will be going to the W3 schools. And yeah, you can see here, there is a restriction, 9+ only supports it. And different types of sources are also available. So here you can see here, the beautiness here is if the browser doesn't support OGG, ultimately it will go to the MP3. If that doesn't support, then it will give us this message, your browser does not support the audio element. So this is one of the beautiness of this audio tag, that first it checks if it is not compatible, then if the browser is not able to interpret it, it goes to the second level. If that is not, then it goes to the third level. And you can see different types. And here the W3 school specified that wave, yep, we cannot use the audio. OGG, we cannot use it on the Internet Explorer. For the Chrome, yep, it is compatible with everybody. For Safari, OGG files we cannot show up using the audio. Right. So these are all the restrictions that you can see when we go to the W3 schools. Right, and very simple one is just try it off, just go there. Yeah, controls are available. Oh my God. And we can write, I mean here as well we can write the same, like a loop or autoplay can be done, can be used. So see the result. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't like these. Okay, so that's what about the audio. Just we will see the video as well on our website, whether it is possible or not. Right. So previously, I mean, when we have just an HTML, previously we don't have these tags, but now HTML5. How come this is an HTML5 is just because of this tag. When we write doc type HTML, then the system recognizes, when we are on a net, it recognizes the type of document, the version that we are using is HTML5. So just I would be placing the video again. Instead of audio, I would be making it as a video. Oh, not that one. Video, and it should end up with the same. You can see there is a difference. And the source, how we would be writing the source is a bit differently here. The source is a MP4 file extension, and we have to specify the type as a video MP4. So just let me remove the console here from here, console. Yeah. So oh, it got looped. So I have to remove the loop. Yeah. And I can say the autoplay again. Done. The controls are available, and we can maximize for this video as well. Right. So now coming to the Avinash part, who has just let me take up the questions from others. So, oh, Yusuf, it has been a long time. So still you have the same question with you, Yusuf? If you are done with that, just lower your hand by clicking on the hand raise icon. Yep, thank you. So, excuse me. So anybody has a questions now? Anybody has a questions for me? It looks very simple. I mean, this is more comes with the more practice and the assignments. Anyhow, have placed the assignments as part of our training. So just don't worry. So just we need to practice. The more that we practice, we will get accustomed with the tags and the how to use them. And it is pretty cool to use the HTML tags, right? So this is the one, and now let us go with just a minute, my dear friends. Yeah. So now we will be looking at the tables, how to show up the tables. This is the pretty much we will be using in SAP UI 5. Not HTML5, I should say. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to remove this. Excuse me. Yeah. HTML tables. So how to show up the tables? As we know that, okay, we need to show up some tables. So table always will start with a table tag. Again, we can refer back to W3 schools. Table, and we need to close the table. And every table is divided into the rows. So I am mentioning, better let me have a border so that you can feel it. So I can write a border equal to 2 pixels. Yep, you can see here a small table, and we can specify the width as width equal to 20px. So this is in the pixels, and I can write the percentage as well, 20% of the complete screen, or I can say 50% of complete screen. Yeah. Now the row, I am defining a row, and always it should be closed. Yeah. This is one row, and yeah, another row I would like to place. Yeah. 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, and for every row we can have a border. 1, 2. So we need to have some content, otherwise it will not show. Excuse me. Yeah. So to add up a content, these rows are divided into the divisions, my dear friends. Again, division TD and /TD. So this is one division in the row. So just like a column. So here, let me write up something which is SAP UI 5, and another division I would be writing Control C, and another division, yeah, it says O data, The another division which we would like to place here would be the NetWeaver gateway. Just we will see the features of it. And in the same way, I can just write another division on another row, and as we know, it contains HTML5, and another row automatically it takes up. So it is OData will use HTTP protocol, which we have seen, and another division. So see, just division, when we are adding, it takes up the division, it takes up the space and the division, right? And for these, when we are using entity sets, it's a part of that. And the third row we can add up, tick, yeah. And the fourth row we can add up 1, 2, 3, yeah. So let me take up the MS Paint so that I can show you up easily. So more like a table gives the complete table, and T row will give us a row, and T division will give us a division of that 1, 2, or 3. So vice versa. And yep, and if we want to have much more what this is about, and always the better place is to go table in HTML5. There are so many advantages, attributes we have. We can just go back to the tables, and W3 schools especially. Yep, you can see so many things on the table side. So TR is the TD part. This is very basic one, and they have added up the border and the style of this is not our part. This is a CSS part, which we will be seeing later, how to add up. And we have something called as a table header. So how it looks like, just try it yourself and see the result. This will be in a bold one. So TH is specified as a header for the table. So we can specify it, and otherwise we can use in the same pattern. So this is the one that we would be using as part of SAP UI5 as well. So any questions for me? Any questions for me till the table? Next, we are going to use up the forms. Use of the forms here. So I would like to have a small break of 10 minutes, and we will continue. So if you have any queries and the questions in between, let me know. So just we will revise what we have discussed. We have discussed on the link pages. So we can specify the URL under the href. So this is what we have seen. Images, we can provide the source, the alternative text, and the height and width of it. So this is Yeah, repeated audio. We have seen a new tag from the HTML. Some browsers will not support it. Anyhow, when we go to the, W3 schools, we will be able to get it. Video as well. Yep. We can specify the width and the height of that particular video. In the tables we have seen T header. Now we have even TH. We can write it as a T head, and T body we can write it as a T body. TR, TD. TR stands for the row and TD stands for the division. Now when we come back, we will start with the division. Yep, absolutely. This is the tag which exactly been used in a UI file. So we will discuss about the division, and then we will come up with the forms. Right. So any questions for me? Just shoot it up. Any questions for me, my dear mates? Yeah, Venkat, I'm just unmuting you. Venkatesh. Yeah, Venkatesh. Yeah, we can hear you, but your voice is pretty low. Oh my God, I am not able to hear. Can somebody hear Venkatesh? Because Venkatesh, your voice is pretty low. Pretty low. Can you type it on a questions pane? Yeah, that's a better option. Yeah. Kindly get a new mic. Yeah. Yeah, no issues. Kapil asks a question like, for UI5, which editor we will use? We will be using Eclipse, but there is a other option, extended option. We have Web IDE as well, so we can use both of them. But as part of our training part, we will be using Eclipse. Okay. Okay, guys, just allow me to get some time, 10 minutes of time. Now the time here is 9:15, so I will be back at 9:25, or it will take 15 minutes, excuse me. So 9:30, and we will continue our session there. Till that time, you can just shoot up your questions on the questions pane. So when I come back, I can go through the questions as well. Yep. Thank you, guys. We'll see you at 9:30 today. Okay, don't leave. Yep. So questions from Yusuf says that, can we get this current video on the side? Yes, we can. Okay. What is the other question? Yeah. Other question is also from the Yusuf, that can we use the other images? Yes, we can use the different types of images. Yeah. So any questions for me? So as of now, I cannot see much questions from your side. So is everybody available? Vinash, are you there? Geeta, Kapil, Pranesh, Shobhan, Venkatesh, Yusuf. I always get confused with the Venkatesh. So I call Venkatesh and Venkat. Yeah. Now the interesting part comes with the division, my dear friends. So division is the one which we would be using in a our HTML, our UI5 regularly. So instead of whatever we have used as of now, where is our JS bin? I'm just checking. Yeah. So here we have, let me close the other browsers. Yeah. So now you can build up the websites, my dear friends, for yourself. And yeah, there should be some additional knowledge we need to have, like the domain, website, the other stuffs, but you would be getting, I mean, if you want to have your own website, so the cost will be much lesser. I mean, so it would be around 1,000 rupees, or somebody are giving with a 500 bucks as well. So in rupees, so you can have your own website. Now let us come to the division, so which we would be using regularly. So division is pretty much as the para. So para, just let me write it for the para as well. SAP UI5 training, and I would be writing another para with I'm also providing SAP CRM technical training, and we are coming up with very new things as the quick view tool. Click CLIK, click view tool. This is the alternative tool for the BIBW, and yep, now most of the clients are going with this click view tool for the analytical part, especially for the report part. I'm sorry, for the report part. Right. So instead of para, I can go with the division. So let me show you the division, and the tag has to be closed up. So the same like a para, we can use the division, but yeah, let me see, does it give the space to others? So it doesn't give the space, but let me add up the division here. The division. So division is giving more like a break one, but it has something called as a ID, which we would be using when we start up with the CSS. So div ID, I'm just specifying div ID, and it has something called as a class. So especially these classes are used when we use the CSS part. So I will be mentioning you the usage of the class and the division when we go to the CSS, and then when we move to the JavaScript, especially this will be used. And in SAP UI5, we would be using very regularly as div ID as a content, and we are not writing anything here, so which we would be using very extensively. But we will be knowing very well when we go with the JavaScript what this ID means. So especially to tell you in a simple words, I can have multiple divisions, and I can provide the different IDs to it. And yeah, we will get to know the flavor of these, I mean, using the IDs when we use the CSS and JavaScript and jQueries, especially IDs and the classes. So just I'm giving you the syntax of it, and we are going to use the division very regularly in our UI5. Okay. So any questions on this? So I will not be able to explain you right now, but later part I will be explaining you on these. Right. Now coming to the other section, which is called as a form, where whenever we would like to fill up a form using a document. See, my dear friends, these are all the documents. Instead of using a generic paper, we are using a website to advertise something or to show something where user would like to fill up something, and yeah, generally instead of using the paper, we will be demonstrating everything on a website, and we would like our end user to fill up these forms for the data or to show up some information, blah blah blah. So we will be using forms very regularly. And how to define a form? We have a tag called form, and yeah, should be closed off, and it should be the part of the body. So in the form we can write a para as well. So whatever the tags we have, we can just specify them. So form for SAP UI 5, I can write it as a, header can be part of these. So para. So innerly we can use the H1 within the para. Now let us start with something like the first name, and the tag we will be using regularly is input type. So there are the different types of type content we have. This is a type is an attribute for element, HTML element input or HTML tag input. We can find out most of them, but let me show you one of them is a text, which we would be seeing regularly, very regularly. I can write my first name. I don't know. Some countries use first name as a surname, as just surname as the name, but I'm just writing my name here, and I can write the last name will be Control C and Control V. I can write it here, and to have a better format we can break it down, or we can put as a part of our table as well. So if you want to make it as a part of table, then yeah, we would be getting in a better form like table. And just let us close as part of this table, and I would be placing the TR, the first row, and the another row here, and TD again, TR inside the TD / TD. So for this I would be adding the first name inside here, and yeah, let me get the another TD / TD. I can specify the text type here inside of null, just the type. In a similar pattern I can have another row /tr and TD, just TD, and I can write, I can write Control X. I can just specify this here. Oh, something got wrong. The first name is a TD and TDTR. Okay. So TD and /TD, Control X and Control V. So it looks good if you want to specify in a form of table. And yeah, by default the border is 0, so that's the reason it is not showing us any border. So this format we can add up the stuffs, but yep, just let me remove them quickly, which if you want you can just add it up, but right now I don't want to mess up with the other stuff. I want to just make things very simple to us. Tick, tick, and just right. So the other one which we know, like password, input, type is. So when we write it as a text, for the password, let me make it as a break here. Yeah. For the password, yeah, when I'm typing, I can see the characters here, but generally when we look into the website, when I specify the type as a password here, now you can see it is. So this is how the HTML, tags and the attributes has been maintained. In a vice versa, we have something called as a input type. Control C and Control V, the type as a radio as well. So I can mention a radio buttons as well. So I can just, you can look everything in a W3 schools better, like form in HTML5. Just we will be visiting the W3 schools only, the form elements, form attributes. Form elements we will go with the input drop box, the text area, so it should look like this, and yeah, we can write something called as a button and on click. This is when we go to the JavaScript, we will be making it as a bit dynamic, and different forms. We have key generation as well, where yeah, you can see here, so how it looks like. PR key generation. Submit. Right. So there is a security keyword will be passing from the browser to browser, so will be used when we need something very secured one. So which we can use regularly. But when we come to the form, one of the important aspect that we will be doing is when we are submitting something, where we are submitting. So this is an HTML page. We are submitting a form, but where it has to reach. My question to everybody, yes. Yep, there is an output and we are submitting a form for some railway ticket or whatever. So when we are submitting for train, for example, Devender, yes, the password, or this is about the sex, male or female, gender, or some checkbox, everything. So where we are submitting these forms, to whom we are submitting a form, it is to some third party, and that is to the server, my dear friends. So always when we build up a form, HTML, it always targets to somebody else. It always targets to the somebody else when that gets submitted. So let me put like input type submit. So let me see the output here, submit. So just I just don't want to specify the radio, but I'm with the user ID and password, some kind of login page where I would like to make username and password, which has to be validated or which has to be sent to the third party. And always it should be submitted to the third party because the browser is the client's party. Means it is located at your desktop. Whatever you are doing, it is irrelevant to the server that you are pointing to. So let me make this statement very clear to everybody. Whatever the stuff that we are doing, once I called yesmax.co.in, it goes to the server, it picks up the HTML content and it shows up the data, and there is no, once it got responded, once this page is appeared, there is no connection between this yesmax.co.in server and this browser. So let me explain you. This stuff should be very clear, my dear friends, for you. So let me make in this format. See, this is called the URL. When I sent some request from here, from a browser, so this is my browser, my dear friends, from this browser, when I send a request in form of HTTP, don't forget about the HTTPS : yesmax.co.in. What happens? This is the URL, Uniform Resource Locator, and it locates the server. When I am on a web, when I click on this enter button or something like a refresh button or something like an arrow button here, so what happens? The browser sends a request to the yesmax.co.in server. That can be any type, my dear friends. So this is the server which is hosted as yesmax.co.in. So request, when I say http://yesmax.co.in, what happens here is the browser sends some information to the Yesmax. Information is nothing but the data, my dear friends, and it is passing some data from the browser to the server. In what format it sends the data? I mean, when we are sending the data, there is a format. When we are sending an amount, there is a format, like in a rupees format, in a dollar format. So there is a format. What format it is sending? It is sending in a form of HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And since this is a HTML hypertext, so it sends the text in a form of hypertext in a HTML format. So it is sending the data to the server. Server recognizes the request from the browser, and the server has to respond to that HTTP request, and the server will respond to the request sent from the browser, and the form is again in a HTTP format. And whatever the stuff that we have sent initially, it is called as a request to the server, and it is request to the server, and server has responded it. So there is a request object raised by the HTTP that is captured by the server, and the server has responded back to the browser, and that's the reason we got this screen. So any questions regarding this, my dear friends? So whatever the stuff that we type it on the URL www.yesmaxco.in, that can be a gmail.com, yahoo.com, it hits that particular server with that URL. So to be honest, it is an IP address, but that is mapped in such a way that, so when we type it as yes-max.co.in, that maps with the particular IP address 199.167.1.2. Blah blah blah, and that server responds back in a HTTP format. And once this got responded, there is no connection as of now. Delete. So the browser forgets to whom it has sent the request. The browser forgets. This is the characteristic of the HTTP format. This is the characteristic of HTTP format. Again, if you have to send some other data, again from here you have to send some, again through the URL you have to send the data. For example, so the course content for this. So now when I click this, now again based on the URL, because I have placed in I have written, just we have seen the href. So I have specified, my dear friends, you just look at this place. So here this is href. When I click on this content, the href is pointing to the training/SAP UI5 and NetWeaver gateway. So now what is happening here is a new request has been raised, and that is pointing to these. And it can also happen that the second request may point to some other server as well. It is not mandatory that it has to point to the same server. It can point to the another server, and that is all depends on what href you have defined for this. If I have defined href for this tab as the google.com, it will move to the google.com. So again, there is a new request has been raised, and ultimately the server will send a response, a new response to it. And once got responded in a HTTP format, the server and browser forgets about the request and the response that has just happened. It is just once the response has retrieved, done. I am done with it. So is that is clear to everybody, my dear friends? Is that is clear to everybody? You need to understand this form, my dear friends. So for that, just I have shown you. For every request, the request will send to the server. The information will always point to the server. Any questions for me? Are you clear with it? Avinash, Geeta? Yep, Geeta. Geeta, I'm just unmuting you. Geeta?
Yeah, what I'm lost here is like you have the submit button. So I thought that on that action, it would communicate with the server. Is the form and form so necessary?
Absolutely, absolutely. I am with you, dear, but I have just gone just prior to that. The first thing is when we click on this URL, now, I mean, I went to the different movie, to be honest. I haven't reached to the submit button yet. That I would be coming right now, but here I am pointing to the hyperlink and the URL that we would be placing. So whenever we are placing a URL, when we click on the enter button or just a refresh button, it goes to that particular server with the URL. Since we have the URL as this, it goes there, it picks it processes and it sends request. The second form is when we have a submit button. So this is one case where we are going to the server. The another case is the hyperlink. It is going to the server. The third thing is if you want to send some data. The third package is now we are not sending any data. We are not sending any data. We are going there and we are picking up that particular pages. But when it is a form, not only just we are going there, we are passing some data to the third party. Are you with me, Geeta? Got confused?
No, I got it.
You are absolutely right. So just, I mean, I was not connecting with the submit button as of now. So I'm just pointing to the URL and how it goes to the server and it retrieves back. The key point here I would like to emphasize is, since this is a HTTP, its character is stateless. Means once the response has came, forgets everything. The server doesn't connect with the browser will not connect with the server for every second. Every second it will not hit. Once the response is back, the browser remains the stateless. Now I don't know from where I have requested. Yeah. So now, yeah, is that clear, Geeta? Can I proceed now? Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
Now coming to the part. Thank you, Geeta. I mean, probably you have made me to make a good statement that right now with the hyperlink or with the URL, we are just moving to the server. But we are not sending any data. And that's what the application servers and the programming languages, the server side scripting. So this is the client side scripting. Whatever the HTML is called client side programming, and the server side programming like ABAP, Java, the Java, .NET, or the BSP, or WebDyn Pro, all these applications. Server side programming will be at the server place, and the browser always, would like to mention you one more, only understands HTML as of now. But it also understands the JavaScript, but it doesn't understand what is an ABAP, what is a C language, C++. Programming languages will not be interpreted by the browser. I'm repeating again. Programming languages, except JavaScript, my dear friends. Except JavaScript will not be known by the browser. The browser is built in such a way that it understands the HTML and JavaScript. That's all. So we have an SAP. We have a ABAP language, we are good at that, but it never ever understands it. So there should be an interpreter which should convert it and which should send the data in a form of HTTP, and HTTP contains the HTML and JavaScript within it, and that will be interpreted by the browser, and that's how it responds on for the user. It responds on the user interface. What I mean to say, it shows to the user. Now coming to the data, and we know that data has to be processed, and the data will be sent. The data will be sent in a form of form. So when I submit it here, it has to send to the server in some format. So it got disappeared just because it doesn't know where it has to reach. And we have something called as a action, by which we can send the data to that particular server, http://www.yesmax.co.in. Right. So now what I'm doing, when I submit it, take an action, take me to the yesmax.co.in. So I think the better I should make it for the live review. Yes, let me write it. Yesmax. Just I am sending the data now. Now it is going to see the beautifully. You can see that I cannot stop it immediately, but just examine here that it is going to the yes hyphen, oh, I have written something wrong here, www dot here. So when I am submitting, it is going to the http.yesmax.co.in. So let me go back here and let me refresh it. Yeah. Yesmax. Submit it. Now just see on this URL, it is going to the http:// Now my intention is to pass the data of the text and the password. So I can send the text and what method. So when you are sending the text, the method is very important. Which method? So I know one of the method, which is a get. So just I'm using the get, and let us see. Let us see. So if I would be using that, how it will be shown. Now I'm using the username and the password. And just I'm submitting. Just kindly see at the URL, my dear friends. Oh, probably it is wrapping up. So for me, the best one would be like I should use, which doesn't exist. abcd.com or abcd. Just let me use this for simple understanding. And just I am opening it up. Just I am sending now. ABCD question mark. So because of this is a website, I'm not able to show you exactly. The best way to show what exactly happens here is the Notepad++. So let me show up because that's a website, and again it interprets something. So that's the reason. Just let us not show up that. So ABCD is the action that it should take, and let me go here. Yesmax, submit. So my dear friends, it is traveling to the ABCD. It is traveling to the ABCD, but I am not happy with these because I would like to show you something. www. Where is the problem? Yeah. Right. So my expectation was it has to pass the data here. So that's my mistake, my dear friends. So I want to see up the data here, whichever the data that I am passing. So just my problem is I haven't provided any attribute name. So text has to be sent with the name, I would say user, USR, and password has to be sent with the name PWD to the third party. So it can be, so let me check up with the www.abcd, and then we will make few changes. Now see, so I have to pass on the data, whatever the user types at the, and what the name, what is the key value for that, what is the key for that. So I am specifying it as a user, for the password PWD. So there is a typo mistake here. Yeah. Now just let us run the application. Tuck, 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 tuck. Yeah. Now see, just before we have seen the Devender here, so probably it is just because of the www. So let me remove these. and let me refresh it. Let me write something, and when I test it, yes, you can see the user is Devinder. So it is passing a data user is equal to Devinder just because we have specified it in this format. So if I remove these and remove these, and it is inside and just I am expecting a bit more because it has to pass on the password as well. Yeah. Oh, remember the password. It is only passing me only one attribute, but yeah, I think there is some mistake. It has to pass IO, that is my typo mistake. It has to pass the password as well. So that was my expectation. Since I have used the colon extra, it is not showing up. But now, wow, so it has to show up. So I'm just writing yesmax as a password and I'm submitting the query. Oh, so it is not showing up. I think is just behavior of it. So let me write as a text. Another text. Now it is not more the password. So I am writing this. Yeah, now it is going. So there is a behavior of this browser says that when this is a password, it will not show on the URL. But finally, what I want to convey here is for the last name, let me make it as a last name and whatever. So if I write http://www.yes-max.co.in and when I submit it, so let me run this application. So make Devinder and the last name as Neik. When I submit it, just observe the URL, my dear friends. So it is passing the two ones. It is passing the two ones. It is called as a passing data through a URL, passing data through the URL to the third party, and that we would be specifying at this place. Yeah. Right. So this is what we have. I can show you one more example where it retrieves the data of the server. So just give me some time to open up the BSP page. So I'm going to just SCID where I already written a BSP page, and actually I would like to demonstrate to pass our web page from here to a BSP page. Yep. I have to check it out whether the page is the same or no. Oh, no, this is not the one. Okay. So let me make it as a test. I have written something like a test here. is I will show the same example in my next session. There actually what I'm trying to do is when we are passing these user ID and password, so I'm passing user and password and it will be captured here by using the BSP application, and BSP application will, so I got it, my dear friends. From the form we have the username and the password and the text criteria. Just we can just send it off. So just let me, yeah, username is Devender and password is something, and I'm sending. So just say remember, and it is asking for my, because it is traveling to the BSP application, it is asking for the credentials. So it is going to my application, BSP application. So there is a security, otherwise, yeah, username is blah blah blah. So it is not showing up. I have to check up, but the application name is ztest01. ztest01. No. What's happening for me? ztest01. It is that somebody has changed it. Or is that is a CRM application? Excuse me. Oh, my bad. Anyhow, tomorrow I will try to show it out. Yes, Max 1, 2, 3. Yes, E8O. Just let me make the last attempt for today. The law. ztest01. Let me test it on test01. Hey, my dear mates, I have actually got it from the last one. IO. See, this is a server-side program that I have written. This is a BSP application. Actually, it is getting it from the CRM application which I have. So I'm sorry. So if I have to capture, I'm capturing the name from the form. Just let me show you the form. So I'm sending it in a form of username. So just I am displaying it. So username, yeah, I have to just activate it. So I have activated. Now what I am doing here, my dear friends, so I am passing the user from our browser and it goes to the server, our CRM server, and it captures it and it will show us the username. So that's what we have written. The action, it is in a post. Let me make it as a get initially, then I will make it as a post. So I am just making for not for others. So user ID, username and the password. Yeah. So I'm just saving it, I'm running it. So I'm making Devinder, and when I test it, just observe the URL. When I test it, so it is going, it is passing the data in form of URL and it is captured at the BSP level. So it is captured at the BSP level and it has responded back with the HTML user name is, this is what the server script programming is. Requested got get form field, the name is username. and the server has responded with a HTML page with this one. So this is what happened, and if we want to make it as a form of post, we know that it will not be shown on the page. So if I say post and if I send some data, yes Max Edu, if I am sending it, it is not shown, but it has passed the server and it has responded to the same browser. It has responded to the same browser, and when I request from here to some other, again it will become a new request to the third party. So here the key factors are at the action, to whom you want to send the form, and which form you want to send it, and what data you want to send it. Is it in a username or the password? Okay. So just let me move fastly, and I want to give you a small assignment that build an application in this pattern. Let me show you. I don't want to show you. So website probably. So just I am removing few contents here. Anyhow, I would be specifying this as part of the assignments. So just create a page with this content. So in this pattern, and we will tomorrow what we will do, we will develop these Control X, and we will be putting the style sheets to it, by which it will be shown as just more like a website by using the CSS. That's the difference. So today what we have done is just a content, the documentation content. We haven't provided any style to it. We haven't provided any background to it, which can be achieved using the Cascade style sheet, which we will be discussing tomorrow. Anyhow, I will specify the same assignment on our website, and what you can do right now is just kindly go through the website, our website for today, and just log in. So the login process is just click on this plus button, provide your user email ID and the password, that you have specified while enrollment, and login. So once you logged in, I will take up the question once I'm done with this demo part. So this is where, and now what I will be doing is I will be replacing it as a batch one. Above this, I will be adding up your sessions. So below that, I mean, this is a batch one. Below that, these are all the sessions for the batch one. So I will be adding the batch 2 one upon it, so that you can find out the batch 2 on the top of it. You can go through the current recorded sessions which has been happened currently, and if you want to go through the previous ones, you can go through them, right? And now coming to the assignment part, click on this discussion forum. Click on these assignments on, especially on the HTML, and I have placed the assignments here. Start with 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just checking the 1, and this is what I have given, and you can reply it, my dear friends. So when you reply it, you can add up your coding part here. So just reply it, and you add up the code here. You add up the code here, and if you want to add up the file, HTML file, you can add up here. Right. Cancel. So you can do it for today on these. Okay. So that's all from my side. Let me take up the questions if you have any. Yeah, now the questions from your side. Yeah, I would like to take questions from you. Geeta, just I'm unmuting you. I can take up your question. So this is some 39 minutes back. Yeah, Geeta.
Like you have taught us the basics of HTML, and since we will be soon UI5 developers, where it means not only writing a good code but also giving a good feel of it or look of it. So, for example, you have this like my course courses, and there are drops downs. Would you teach us how to build them as well?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, see, these are very basics, and we are not going to develop everything using the HTML, to be honest. But so like when we have to learn Apple, we have to start with ABCD. It doesn't. I mean, we are. It doesn't follow the A next B C D. APPLE is just we need to learn the alphabets. But here we are learning the HTML. Need not to be expertised within it, within the HTML, because we have the UI5. It has its own libraries. But I'm just worried when I say no need, means you will not be doing the assignments, but it absolutely is going to be useful for you, and that's the reason I just offered to say that okay, tomorrow when we go to the UI5, it's a different movie, but somewhere it gets connected with the basics of HTML.
Okay, got it. No, that's what I was wondering, like what would be done in UI5 and what portion in HTML. I think this answers my question.
Yep. I mean, SAP really hats off to the SAP guys. They have really, I mean, provided the docs and the APIs in such a way that, I mean, if a guy is too adaptive, he can directly jump to the UI5 without any of these knowledge. But somewhere that kills. Sometime the basics of HTML, CSS, JavaScript will kill him at sometime. But if the person is ready to adapt immediately, just I mean, what is a jQuery? If he is able to get it, yeah, can be done. So right now I will not be able to answer. I mean, the exact answer to you. But kindly follow me.
I can read it.
Yeah. I'm just afraid that you may ignore few things which will be useful later. So just follow me as of now. But at the same time, shoot me the questions whatever you have. Okay. So yeah, Geeta. And finally, I mean, to tell you the exactly, yes, we are doing the website kind of stuff. That's all. Website designing using SAP UI5.
Basically, me taking up the course now as soon as possible, because with my client there is a particular requirement, and because of my lacking skill set, it's been assigned to another resource. But somehow there is an internal challenge for me that I would also learn, and maybe the next requirement when comes up, I should be able to take.
Related to the form and action, what actually SAP this is okay. Let me go to my forms. Yeah, what actually the form does, means the HTML or the browser does is whatever we have specified under this particular form. Oh, there is a mistake. I have to close up this form. Yeah. So whenever we are submitting, the complete form will be submitted to these whatever we have specified at actions. So the form completely gets submitted to the action, and it sends the data to this particular action in a form of post. And the method that we are transferring the data is maybe the get or post or put or delete. Put, delete, you just ignore it, and get or post as of now. Okay. So how we got it? This is a BSP application, dear. So I have developed BSP application in a CRM, and I have got the URL. So you need to get the URL to whom you want to pass the data. So this action, you have to get it. So to which application you want to pass the data, that we have to get it. If you want to pass the data to the Gmail, write http://www.gmail.com. So it goes to the Gmail server. So this BSP application name, how I got it is, so this is the BSP. So if somebody has a knowledge on a BSP, they will be able to get it. The properties, and when we come down, yeah. So this is the URL of that particular application. The URL of that particular application. Right. Okay. Any further questions for me? So as a web developer, SAP UI5 is a web development. No? Okay. Can I unmute you, Kapil? Can I unmute you? Yeah. Yeah, Kapil.
Yes, sir. I was just asking about the URL. You have just told me about that.
Okay, okay. Yeah, it has been answered.
How to? Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. So anyhow, I mean, this is irrespective. I mean, the method, the action can be a BSP application, can be a .NET application, can be a Java application. So as I mean, the UI developer, we need to know the URL of that particular application. That's it. The other things, yeah. Other things, we are just passing the data. So it is the third party who has to accept it, who has to process it, and who has to respond it. So, I mean, I'm talking in a form of browser. So browser sends the request with the data to that particular form submission. And does anybody have a question like, can we submit to 2 different servers, or I cannot, this is a static one, can I make it as a dynamic one? So if somebody are putting some data into the password, then I want to pass it to the some .NET application, and if for if case, I mean on a drop down, if I select some other data, then I want to pass it to the third party server. So can we make these parameter as a dynamic in a HTML? Can we make this parameter as a dynamic? Means I want to send to the BSP of CRM for particular scenario when I have a drop down. So my dear friends, we have a drop down as well. We can have a drop downs as well. So for the drop down, the value is in this format. So we have something called as an option. So how to do that? So if I have to submit to some, based on the drop down selection, if I have to submit to the dynamically, then what should be done for this HTML page? Simply we need to have add a JavaScript at that time. So that's where the JavaScript comes. So when there is a dynamism, when there is something like a validation, the JavaScript will come into the picture. Okay guys, probably, yeah, thank you very much for bearing more than 3 hours. We'll see you tomorrow on the CSS part. If you have any queries, yep, you can send me a question as well. Thank you guys.